Hello, everyone. Welcome to my back to school presentation, distance learning version. Um, I'm excited to be back with students, and I hope we'll have a great year. A little less excited about doing distance learning. I can't wait to get back in the classroom and really see the kids' faces a little bit better, and there's a little more energy in the classroom, but we'll do the best we can. And we'll talk a little bit about that as we go. So it's kind of a mixture of distance learning and traditional uh, in classroom that you're going to get on this presentation. Hopefully everybody has already gone over the parent syllabus and parent letter and contract with your kids, where they're practicing having you do a digital signature. See if we can get that to work so we get used to Google Classroom and Google Docs. Try to make this an exploration. Some of this is going to be the same stuff that's on that letter, but some of it will be a little bit different. With lots of hands-on science, which obviously is difficult to do, but we're going to try to do some of that if we can. And if you're able to help support your kids with that, with paper and scissors and things like that, it'll make it a lot more entertaining and interesting for them and more hands-on and tangible. How much we're able to do kind of depends on the students, their level of interest, motivation, responsibility. If students are with distance learning, if there's a lot of, okay, we got to get back on track, things like that, it's a little bit harder to go in deep. So hopefully, yeah, if they're really interested in it, and it depends sometimes on the classroom, but we can really explore and have a lot of fun and get in depth. And we're going to be studying engineering, investigation, experimentation. This is where a lot of the hands-on part comes in solving problems and really using data and things like that. That's what we want to get. That's really the learning how to do science. And then you've got the information part of science and then figuring out, well, what does this mean? We want to get past well, cells do this, and how can we compare that to something else? How can we explain our understanding? That's what we want to really get across. So if you want to ask your kids, don't ask them what are the parts of the cell. Ask them what does the mitochondria do? What is that like? Or why is DNA shaped the way it is? Things like that, rather than just what is the shape of DNA. Homework. Everything's homework now. So it's usually due the next class. But we will be working with distance learning and really adjusting as we need to. But it is students' responsibility if they miss something. Sometimes with Zoom meetings, if they get distracted, and we'll talk about that, how to limit that. But if you're distracted, it's their responsibility to find out that information. Trying to put up videos of what I teach, so they can go back and look at it rather than me having to answer the question multiple times or re-show things. But we do have tutorial time. We'll talk about that as well. Oh, it is going to be worth less points. There's no more held harmless. So if students aren't turning in work, it will affect their grade. So we need to really encourage them and let them know this. Just because it's on the computer doesn't mean it doesn't count. It very much counts. I'm not going to go over this. This is a pretty standard grading. I do have A minuses and A pluses. That's the only thing that's really not in there. What can parents do to help? Google Classroom is going to be the best. Google Classroom and my web page. I have a homework page. I also have some pages for instructions and support and help. So check out my web page. Check out the Google Classroom. If you're not added as a guardian on Google Classroom, I'm doing that as we go. But you can also request that, and I can get you added as a guardian, so you can check out Google Classroom. If you check Parent Portal, that's great, but then it's kind of late. At that point, if they're missing something, it's makeup work and it's that much harder. So it's better to keep on track as they go. As much as you can, spend time with your kids. I know it's not easy. especially you think distance learning would be more time, make it easier. But the kids, especially at middle school, they don't do so well completely independently. I mean, they're learning, but they do need that checkup, and I think they appreciate it really. Um, no one knows your kids better than you, so please communicate with me. What are they struggling with? What if you've got questions on how do I help them do this? Please just communicate with me. Binder reminders. I think kids have binder reminders. They should still be using them. Keeping track of things, staying organized is huge. We don't have a binder to put things in now because it's going to be mostly digital, but they still need to stay organized. Missing assignments are probably the biggest problem that we have. So getting assignments in and keeping on top of that. Anything you can do to support your kids with that. And again, don't forget to email me if you've got any questions or concerns. Unfortunately, we can't talk in person right now, but I'll respond to the email as often as possible, or as quickly as possible. Okay, whoops. Binder reminders, a little bit more about that. Again, keeping track of work, even in distance learning, is probably more important now. Very easy to mix up, oh, this class, and the kids think they can do it all by going from one Google Classroom to another. It's not always that easy. They should be writing things down and keeping a track of that in a binder reminder or journal or something. If students need help, check Google Classroom. I'm putting up videos and tutorials as much as possible of what they need to do in case they miss it or so they can go back and double check it. It's also the website. I'll be putting the same thing on the website. Sometimes there's an additional support pages. And parents, you can check the homework page if you don't want to use Google Classroom. I'm going to try and keep that up to date. I'm going to be doing tutorial time as often as I can, except for on Wednesdays. And it might not always be available, but just tell your kids to look for a posted Zoom on their Google Classroom or on the website where they can just come and check in with me. And when they're back to school, there'll be lots of opportunities for students to come in and check. It's just a matter of will they do that. It's encourage them to come in and get help. And of course, I can be emailed. Oops. Just some information. Hopefully everybody knows the district website. This is the Chaparral website. I encourage you to bookmark those things as well as their Google Classrooms so you can check easily and regularly, maybe even get it on your phone. Some of this, again, is on the parent letter. Some things to think about with distance learning. We're all doing this together. Please don't get discouraged or let your kids get discouraged. It's not easy. Encourage your children to push themselves to learn how to use technology for distance learning. So we're learning this technology as we're learning about science and learning how to answer correctly and think. So it's good stuff. It's going to be useful at some point, if not another situation like this, maybe their work someday, maybe with high school, maybe with college. Please encourage them to do it the way to submit through Google Classroom. I need everything submitted through Google Classroom, not sent in an email. We want to learn to use the documents in Google Docs, use the technology that we have. Okay, and you can always ask or look for help. There's also a lot of great videos on YouTube if you search for it. A lot of bad stuff on YouTube, but a lot of good stuff too. Encourage your kids to look for fun ways to share. If they know another technology that they can use for a presentation, tell them to check with me, but then we can go for it. Please have your kids work in a non-private area. I know you're probably like, I got this computer for them. Have them keep their doors to their rooms open. It's too easy to get distracted, even during Zooms. I've had kids doing other things and we want to keep them on task. Please be patient when it comes to communication. I'm getting tons of emails and things like that. Last thing, if anybody wants a kitten, I've got two. The two on the left there, the mom's on the right. Two adorable kittens that are still adorable but getting big. Send me an email if you're interested. All right, thanks for watching. I look forward to working with you this year.